Previously on Geek Speak.
So those are the nominees for the worst movie of this year. I mean, like I said, I think it's pretty obvious. Everybody talked about it. You guys did on your shows. We did. Everyone did. But is there another one you would want to give it to out of there?
Well, I know what I know it is. I'm curious. You know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna say, if we all say the answer, like at in 3, 2, 1, we're all gonna say something different.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
War of the Worlds. Oh, okay, we're all on the same page.
You guys go first. Who do you pick as the best show?
Andor season 2. Next question.
Mark.
Andor season 2.
Shanclen.
I'm gonna have to go with It. Welcome to Derry.
I get it.
I'm into horror.
Now, this is this. Because the tiebreaker rules are going to have to come into play. My pick is It. Welcome to Derry also.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So, we're not going to hear it, but all of you listening, you will hear who the winner is in 3, 2, wait. Yes. By the way, Shanclen, you're fired. You forgot to mention that. Yeah, we should have put in that disclaimer. Stranger Things asterisk. Yeah, well, as we're recording this, we haven't seen Volume 2 or the finale. So when we see those, maybe we'll change our mind, but it won't matter because the award show is going to be out already. Maybe we'll talk about it in January. Not ready to announce something new yet. Shanclen knows what it is. That's why he's making that face. There's actually a couple of new things, but I'll just leave you. I'll tease you like this. There will be some changes to the Geek Speak Show next year. There will be some changes in who you'll hear on the show. Shanclen and I are going anywhere, but you're going to hear some new voices. And the last one is next year, you'll be able to see a lot of these changes on the Geek Speak Show. So come back next year and you'll see Geek is still spoken here.
The Geek Speak Show is produced and distributed by 22 Creations Multimedia, LLC.
Welcome to one of the longest-running geek culture talk shows. The Geek Speak Show. The Geek Speak Show has been speaking geek since 2010. What is Geek Speak? Why is Geek Speak? You're about to find out. Welcome to the Geek Speak Show with Henry San Miguel and the nerdy Navajo Shanclen. And introducing Emily Mata.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Geek Speak Show. Welcome back to the Geek Speak Show, I should say. Now, as I said last year in the finale, let me start with the kind of confusing explanation I tried to give you guys. I'm retconning the show, like I said. So let me explain what this retconning means. As the year went on, after I came back and I started calling it the Geek Speak Show Volume 2, I was the only one that said Volume 2. No one calls it Volume 2. No one says Volume 2. All the marketing people I talk to, all the convention people I talk to them, it's still the Geek Speak Show or Geek Speak. So, I said, okay, it was kind of a good idea. But I decided, let me just go back to the way things were since 2010. The Geek Speak Show. That's where we are, just the Geek Speak Show. Not Volume 2, just simply the Geek Speak Show. And this is season 16. Even with the short, a year and a half that the show went on hiatus, this is still the 16th episode or 16th season of the Geek Speak Show. Okay, everybody got that? Anybody confused? If you are, it'll make sense as we go along. Now, so for the show's 16th season, I'm going to apply the old adage. The more things change, the more they stay the same. You heard that in last week's, I guess we can call it a preview issue, the issues of the day. We're still talking about what's happened in the geek culture, but with different voices. Instead of Mark Pope and Trent Tucker from Geek Off the Street, it was Annalise and Rob from the Nerd Best Friends podcast who joined us. You're still going to hear Mark and Trent, just not on every Issues of the Day episode. Now here, on the regular Wednesday episodes, you're going to hear me, of course. You're going to hear another familiar voice in a second, but also a new voice. As Yoda once said, there is another. That other is Emily Mata. You heard it in the intro. Emily, jump in here. Let's officially welcome you to the show. We heard you last week. You did the interview. Good job on that. But now you're here. You're live. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Henry. Thank you for having me on here. And thank you a lot for, complimenting me on last interview. I'm pretty glad with how it went.
Yeah. You weren't scared. That's part of the reason why you're going to be here. Now, we could spend the next few minutes explaining who you are and what you are, but we're not, because they're going to learn about you as we speak geek as the year goes on. But I will say this. It's going to sound a little creepy, but if you actually want to know more about Emily, you can actually meet her in person. Let them know what's happening and where they can meet you in person this weekend, in fact, this Sunday.
So this Sunday at the Pasadena Convention Center, there'll be Pasadena Comic-Con, and so you can meet me alongside my other peers at the Skullcado booth this Sunday.
Yeah, that's a lot of Pasadena. We get $1 every time we say Pasadena, just letting you guys know. That's why there's so much Pasadena. But you can see her there. I have a link to everything on the show description if you guys want some more info on that. And of course, you can also go to the websites. Everything we all have a bio on there, so you can read more about her, and especially get the links to see. If you don't get to see her at Pasadena Comic-Con, you get to see what Emily does for a living, because it's pretty cool, actually. Now, like I said, there is something else that doesn't change, another voice that doesn't change other than mine. The Nerdy Navajo is back. Oh, young warrior.
Oh, Henry. I just got to say, I'm so excited to be back here at the Geek Speak Show, so much that with my smile, I just now split my bottom lip. and it hurts, so I apologize, but I need some water.
We need that, or we need to get, what do you call those, chapstick or one of those as a sponsor?
Yeah, like that's
ones.
how long, okay, everybody in the audience know, that has been the last time since I smiled was the Geek Speak Show finale. So for everyone out there, that's how excited I am. I'm smiling so much that I split my own lip.
Well, I thought you were about to say Pasadena, because like I said, we get $1 every time we say Pasadena. So if you don't get a sponsor, say Pasadena enough, we'll get enough dollars. We can go to, local shop somewhere here, smoke shop, and get your smokes and also some chapstick to go with it.
It'll be like Beetlejuice, be that Pasadena.
Look what you just popped up here in the studio.
Wow.
The Pasadena Comic-Con.
Wow.
So, the other that's like I said, not too much is going to change. The voices are going to change. The show's pretty much going to be the same, except there is another. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. It's a new feature, new voice. That's a feature that I was thinking about in there, and I did add this way back in, I think it was season 1 in 1862. No, in 2010. I'm not that old. In 2010, when we started this, I did start this and stopped it. I don't know why. I don't remember why we stopped it really, but it's something that, especially today when everybody seems to have a million things to do in just 1 hour, you kind of need a calendar to keep you together, especially when it comes to all these events. We're coming up to con season, we'll call it. Although for Emily, she's been doing it for quite a while now. But it's coming up to that, and how do you keep that all together? Well, with our new voice and our new feature, here it is, and then we will be back.
Here's Aaron Dill letting you know when and where we'll see you at the con.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Aaron Dill, and with this first calendar, I want to give you a rundown of the major conventions for this year. We'll start with this coming Sunday, January 25th. Pasadena Comic-Con will be happening at the Pasadena Convention Center. CreepyCon 2026 will be happening the weekend of January 30th through February 1st in the Ontario Convention Center. That's California, not Canada. That same weekend, Comic-Con, The Cruise Volume 2 sets sail from Tampa, Florida. Back on dry land, Cal Comic-Con 2026 will take place on the weekend of January 31st and February 1st at the Hotel Farah in Orange County. Gallifrey 1 2026 happens on the weekend of February 6th through the 8th at the LAX Marriott. On March 5th through the 8th, Emerald City Comic-Con takes place in the Seattle Convention Center. On March 13th through the 15th, Game On Expo will be happening in the Phoenix Convention Center. C2E2 2026 is on the weekend of March 27th through the 29th in Chicago. Also on March 27th through the 29th. Also on March 27th through the 29th, the Geek Speak Show's favorite WonderCon Anaheim takes place in the Anaheim Convention Center. Silicon Valley Fandom Con takes place in the San Jose McHenry Center on the weekend of April 10th through the 12th. Heading into the summer months, Anime Expo is from July 2nd to the 5th at the LA Convention Center. On July 22nd through the 26th, there's a small gathering in San Diego. Some may call it SDCC. I'll call it San Diego Comic-Con. There's a whole bunch more, and I'll give you all a detailed calendar as the year goes on. For now, that's just a sampling and a taste of what this new feature will be like. If you missed any details, no worries. Head on over to thegeekspeakshow.com and click on the Events tab for a full listing. Yes, it even includes links. I'm Aaron Dill, and I'll see you at the con.
For all the links to these cons, visit the events page on thegeekspeakshow.com.
Now back to the Geek Speak Show. Here's Henry and Emily.
And we're back on the Geek Speak Show. You know, we've been getting a lot of alien movies lately, so why not an animated comedy series about aliens as well? Well, When Aliens Attack, it's a fast, funny, creature-filled animated sci-fi comedy series where alien species from across the galaxy invade Earth to eat human brains. I mean, it's the newest and most fashionable delicacy in the universe, haven't you heard? The series comes from Skyrocket Pictures, the creative team that brought us Star Trek Renegades of Gods and Men, Cosmos, and a whole lot more. Ethan H. Calk joins us today to talk about When Aliens Attack. Ethan is the writer and editor and no stranger to sci-fi. He wrote 2 stories for Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He's a writer and producer on many of the Skyrocket Picture projects that I just mentioned, and also a producer and editor on the Renegades, The Making of Gods and Men documentary. Welcome, Ethan. How are you?
Hey, doing great. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for coming on. So the plot of When Aliens Attack, like I said, it's kind of obvious. So who came up with the idea and the story? Where'd all that come from?
Our producer, Sky Conway, who is also the creator of all those other projects that you mentioned, Star Trek Renegades of Gods and Men and everything. It was his idea. I'm not sure how long ago. I mean, we've been talking about it for a little bit, and he just kind of came up with this idea. And before now, it was kind of impossible to do until AI has developed like this. So we just decided that it was time to see if we could get it going, and I think we have, or mostly have.
Was it always going to be an animated film? I'm just curious.
Yes. I mean, it'd always been planned to be animated. We just weren't quite sure how we were going to do it back when we first started talking about it.
Interesting. And why did you guys settle on, AI generated animation as the way to make the series?
Mostly because we could afford it. We could do it with an independent budget. We could do it with a small budget. Not that AI is free or anything, or our time is free, but it's just possible now with the AI because, I mean, we're still doing the same kind of production you would normally do with people and real actors. It's just using those different tools to get the images up on the screen.
When you say it's all AI, does that also include the voice, or who's going to be doing the voice acting for the characters?
That's kind of up in the air right now. The episode that we've been working on is sort of a test. Those are all AI voices. We might get into maybe finding some famous actor that we know might do a voice for us. We haven't really pursued that yet, but that is a possibility. But right now, this first episode that we've almost finished, those are all AI voices.
Yeah, and even if you say it's a friend, it will cost. It is their work, so that's why you also have a live Kickstarter. It's about to end tomorrow as you all are listening to this. Talk about the Kickstarter campaign. Can they still, after it ends tomorrow, can they still back it, or talk about the Kickstarter campaign?
Sure. Yeah, we started the Kickstarter about 2 weeks ago. We found with another Kickstarter that a 2-week period really worked well. It's better than drawing it out for 30 or 60 days. So we had a goal of about $2,500 to kind of get us going, maybe get this first episode in the can. At this time we're recording, we're over 8,000. We would like a lot more, obviously. The more we get, the more episodes we can do without having to look further for money. But we've been running it almost 2 weeks now, and we have, like any Kickstarter, we have rewards kind of for everyone, starting with $1 if you want to just support it with no reward. Then it starts with stuff like digital art, early access to the episodes, Blu-ray. We have a 13 episode season planned. We actually have 11 of those 13 episodes already written. And so Blu-ray, you can get your name in the credits, get a t-shirt, stuff like that. You can name an alien race. You can have your name as a character. You can even have your likeness created by AI as a character that probably gets eaten. And then we also have associate producer credit that we can do, and that'll be in huge alien letters at the end. Now, the other people's name in the credits, that'll just be like the little scroll that you see, special thanks. But those are some of the rewards that we have created for it. And if you do look at the Kickstarter, you'll see some of the work that we've done, some of the stills of the aliens, and also a little video where an AI alien sort of explains the whole project.
That's awesome. Honestly, I wanted to ask though about the animation. Just curious about, is there artist involvement, or is it like all AI generated? I just wanted to hear about the process of, making it.
Sure. Yeah, the third member of our team right now is named Greg Greason, and he is a digital artist. He's done a lot of graphics and stuff for us. So Sky tasked him months ago to kind of start looking at different AI video generating programs, and he's been working on this for several months. And I think what we found that each platform does one or two things really well, but they don't do them all. So he's just been testing 4 or 5 or 6 different ones and kind of compared the results. And so he kind of uses different software packages and different tools for the different parts of the process. So I mean, he's kind of like, well, one of them is good for stills, another one's good for motion, another one kind of cleans up in composites. And so you kind of move back and forth, almost like you would if you're generating just any kind of special effects or CGI.
Yeah, like I was thinking, does it, it sounds like it takes a lot of work just kind of going back and forth from each different program. Is there anything that has run a little bit more smoothly compared to other projects like that wasn't involved with AI?
I'm not 100% sure of all of the work that he does on it. He says the hard part is keeping everything consistent, keeping the alien characters looking the same in every shot, keeping all the shots matching the backgrounds. You kind of put in, hey, I want to park in New York City or whatever, and it'll create that. But the next shot that you generate might not look the same. And so all of that kind of, you have to kind of play with that and over and keep changing your prompts and keep um, refining your prompts to get it to look the way you want. And all these shots are maybe 8 or 10 seconds a piece. So every script that we have is done or will be done no more than 8 seconds at a time.
Now, I've talked about AI generated projects throughout the years, in the last couple seasons here on the Geek Speak Show. And as you know, a lot of people see it one of two ways. Either it's cool, it's a great tool. Others think, no, it's going to end creativity. I'm not saying you're the voice of AI, anything, but from your opinion as a creative, where do you stand on this? I mean, obviously, a little biased. You are using AI generator for this project, but I mean, just you as a how do you see the use of AI in entertainment?
Well, I think it's going to have its uses. Like for our situation, if you're creating animated aliens, that the audience absolutely knows that, hey, this is animated. It's going to be animated. We're not trying to fake everyone out. That this is actual real shot with real actors and things like that. I think it's very useful. I'm hoping personally that it doesn't replace real actors because I kind of like being on film shoots and everything like that. So, and as for my end of it, the writing part, I think some things it does okay, but script wise, I mean, I still want to have that creativity. I don't want to just type in 2 sentences and here's a script for me. I mean, that's the whole fun of it, is to actually get in there and write and come up with the ideas and the dialogue and things like that. So, I mean, I'm hoping that never gets replaced.
Yeah, from the conversations I've had with writers, especially, that seems to be the same theme with all of them. Is that yes, it's a tool, but and there was one interview that I did in particular. I was bringing up that the movie it was a sci-fi movie, but the movie that they created actually came from a tragic event in their lives. It was a miscarriage that he and his wife had. So, like we said, AI is never going to experience a miscarriage. So, a lot of the stories, movies, so any art really that we all consume, a lot of it comes from our own experiences, whether good, bad, happy, whatever they are. So, it's I want to say almost impossible for AI to create that because it's not real. Yeah.
Right. And I've drawn lots of pieces of scripts and ideas from personal things. I think every writer does. And so you're right. AI really can't do that. And hopefully it never will, because that's the whole point. To me, the whole point of AI is to help with everything else and let me be creative. I don't want it to do my dishes. I mean, well, no, that's back. I want it to do my dishes so I can be creative, not the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, well, some things we would like it to do. I mean, some human things we, like taking out the garbage. I don't know if we'll get to that, taking out the garbage. That could be a little scary, but yeah, I know what you mean, Ethan. But yeah, going back to when aliens attack. And I know I always say when we talk to Kickstarter projects, life gets in the way. I think our listeners know that at this point. But when do you hope to have it ready for the public as soon as the Kickstarter campaign is done and you guys go into production?
We are hoping to finish the entire season in about 6 or 7 months, because we're looking at, we've narrowed it down, we've honed it down. At first, it took forever to do the shots, and now we're getting it. Greg, I should say, not me, but Greg is getting it down to the point where we can generate almost all the video from one script. By the way, these are like 7-8 minute scripts, or little shorts. We can get it down to maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks for each, and then plus the final editing, which I'm going to do. He's generating all the shots, and then I'm putting it together. And so if we're looking at maybe 2 weeks per episode and 13 episodes, and we're hoping 3 or 4, 5, 6 months that we're hoping to get this this whole season completed.
And where can everybody watch it once they are done?
We're going to have a YouTube channel that it will be out on, and we're just going to post them there. For the Kickstarter, we're going to, for everyone who donates for a certain level and above, and it's one of our lowest levels, you'll get early access to the episodes, hopefully maybe a week or so before it goes public. And then, of course, there are all the other perks that you get extra stuff. But we're just planning on putting them out on our YouTube channel.
Okay. And yeah, go ahead, Emily.
No, I was gonna say, so the Kickstarter does end tomorrow, correct? And as you're all listening to this,
Yeah.
So can the listeners still back it after the campaign ends?
Yes, we do have late pledges activated, and so as long as we leave that open, people can still donate and still get their rewards and still get their name in the credits or whatever they want to do. Yes.
Awesome. Can you tease what else we should be on the lookout for this year from Skyrocket Pictures?
I don't know. We're looking at doing a couple other projects that we have, maybe kind of switching some over to AI. We do have a big project that's a live action called Manhattan Transfer that's based on a novel by John Stith, and we have a lot of actors already signed on. We're just working on money, like every other project. We're still working on that. We're trying to get agents out to different production companies and different streaming services and trying to get a contract for the pilot. So we're working on that. We have an old project, the Cosmos Thirsty Tentacle Bar and Grill, that we shot the pilot. Unfortunately, Sci-Fi turned it down, but we do have the pilot, and we're actually thinking about maybe moving on with further episodes using some AI as well. So we have a few things like that, and then there's another series that we've just been talking about and toying with, and nothing really, no pilot, no outline like that we're thinking would be perfect for AI as well. So until we can get the big bucks to shoot live actors, because I mean, you're talking, even on an indie budget, you're talking $30,000-$40,000 a day just for the crew, and that's not to mention the actor salaries and anything. So stuff like When Aliens Attack, we can do on a small budget, and so we're just kind of concentrating on as many of these projects as we can get done in a timely manner.
You know, if AI ever gives us the answer on how can we do things without actually needing money, then yes, we can call it the savior of mankind.
There we go. Yeah. Now these some of these tools that we use are definitely pay tools, and so we have already spent money. Sky has spent money and working with Greg on getting these tools and working with these tools. So hopefully, if the Kickstarter does well, then we'll have more money. And we can just kind of keep working and put out these different episodes.
And all of that is up to you, all of you listening to us. When Aliens Attack, the Kickstarter, I have it linked up on the show description. Go there. You remember, you just heard Ethan say you can still back it even after it ends tomorrow. So don't think, well, it ends tomorrow, I can't help him out. You can, actually. And if you can't, I know the times are a little bit tough for some people, spread the word that, you know, whatever you can do to help, spread the word. Again, the link is on the show description. Share the link with probably friends that you have that probably can help. So again, thanks for visiting with us, Ethan. Looking forward to When Aliens Attack and everything that's coming from you guys. Now, let's find out what else has been happening in the world of geek culture as 2026 got underway. You heard Emily. You heard me. Somebody else is back. The Nerdy Navajo. Here's Shanclen.
Aho, young warriors. Get ready to receive the teachings. This is Nerdy Navajo News. Here's Shanclen.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year and welcome back all you Geek Speak Show listeners. My name is Shanclen here at the Navajo Nerdy News. Now, last time you heard from me, I told you about the famous, most anticipated movie ever, Godzilla -0, the sequel to -1. Now I can give you the official release date for this movie. But wait, there's not just one, there's two. Actually, the film will be released on November 3rd in Japan, then on November 6th in the United States. As all you Godzilla fans already know, November 3rd is Godzilla Day, the anniversary of the original Godzilla movie hitting theaters back in 1954. Godzilla -0 is once again being directed by Takashi Yamazaki, but the plot details are kept secret for now. I'm really excited for this one, but not being kept secret are the details and release date for Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2. First, the release date is February 27th on Apple TV. It will be a 10-episode season, and all new trailers are teasing the arrival of a new, huge Titan. There's a little teaser right there, as well as the appearances by King Kong and, of course, Godzilla. Kurt and Wyatt Russell return, as do Anna Sawai, Ren Watabe, Kiersey Clemens, and Anders Holmes. Now, last year I finally got a chance to experience Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland for myself. Yes, it was an awesome experience, and I can even say I came back with a lightsaber or two or three. Yeah, it really hurt the bank, but it was definitely worth it. But it still felt like something was missing in the overall experience. Well, Disney's thought so too, and starting on April 29th of this year, Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland will begin to embrace all eras of Star Wars. Yes. When it opened in 2019, Galaxy's Edge was set to between the events of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, I know. No Luke, Han, or Leia. No Darth Vader, or even classic stormtroopers. Until now. Luke did start to make an appearance last year, but now he will be joined by Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Darth Vader himself. Now, John Williams' score will also be heard throughout the land. Not just the Batu-specific music heard now. The Disney's characters will still be there, but my thought is this is a preparation for Star Wars' 50th anniversary next year. It's going to be a real good time for sure. Now, speaking of Star Wars, I'm sure you already know the huge news that dropped late last week. If not, Kathleen Kennedy has officially stepped down as president of Lucasfilm. I just gotta say, I hope she has a good retirement, but I'm excited for who took her place. Taking over the leadership roles are Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen Brennan. Filoni will be the president and chief creative officer, and Lin-Wen will be the co-president of Lucasfilm. Both are longtime Lucasfilm veterans and served during both George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy's runs at Lucasfilm. I guess they were there for every empire. As Star Wars heads toward a half a century adventures in the galaxy far away, we will watch Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen Brennan's tenure with great interest. Now that's what's happening in the world of geek culture. And again, welcome back everybody to the Geek Speak Show and the Navajo Nerdy News. And we'll see you guys next week. Hook on it.
Aho! Now that you have heard the stories, you may continue on your journey, the journey that is, listening to the rest of this Geek Speak Show episode.
A new season of the Geek Speak Show means new sponsors for the new season. As one of the longest-running geek culture talk shows, that also means a quite sizable and loyal audience. The perfect audience for your new comic book, graphic novel, board game, or web series. Social media ads can't guarantee that you'll reach that audience all the time. The Geek Speak Show can. Why? Because it's not just our hosts saying, buy this thing because we tell you to. You'll get fully produced commercials with sound effects and licensed music from our own in-house library. Visit thegeekspeakshow.com and click on the Sponsorships tab for all the info and to start your campaign today.
Sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and supernatural. Comic books, graphic novels, ebooks, and ongoing or new series. You'll hear them all right here on the Geek Speak Show Book Club.
You will hear all that. And let me go first, just so everybody knows, Emily, especially how we do this. My pick is gonna be, it's a book called The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. No, it's not about what Shanclen and I do when we're not talking Geek Speak. I'll read you what it says on the cover. It says, set in 1980s Niagara Falls. It's a story about a 12-year-old named Jake Baker and his occult artifacts and conspiracy theories enthusiast uncle and a pair of siblings who just moved into town. They all form the Saturday Night Ghost Club, and adventures ensue. Think of Stand By Me or Stranger Things, more modern, and you get the idea. Like Stranger Things, the story, it's not about the ghosts. It's, well, if you love the Stranger Things finale, you're gonna love this book. If you didn't love the Stranger Things finale, then maybe Emily or Shanclen's books might be for you. So, having said that, Emily, what's yours? What'd you bring?
So my book is actually, interesting enough, is not a book, but a graphic novel called Vamplettes, The Nightmare Nursery. It's by Gail Middleton, but to give you a little taste of what it's about a teenage girl named Destiny Harper, and she's at a crossroads sort of in her life, but graduation's coming and she has zero prospects for the future. She ends up answering an ad for the Nightmare Nursery, which seems like a great idea, until she's magically transported to this kind of other world called Gloomvania, where dark creatures lurk in the streets and the world is being mysteriously overrun by baby vampires called Vamplettes. Now, it's really interesting if you're into, I guess, Monster High, creepy, sort of cute gothicness. I think it's a perfect book to start off with.
Creepy, but not terrifying, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's, graphic novel, those count around here. Most people might think, it's not a book. It's a book. You're reading it, aren't you? So it's a book. In fact, they do count because, Shanclen, what's yours?
So mine is a comic book. Yes, everyone knows last year we announced that Shanclen has started reading breaking news for last year. So now this one, my pick for today is, I mentioned this before, but this one was very special to me because it is Predator Kills the Marvel Universe issues number 5. Now, I know I mentioned this one before, but this is issue number 5, which is the last comic book that's going to be wrapping up the series. And I got to say, it was 10 out of 10. Great series. Very creative with how they went and ended the whole series. But if you guys haven't, it just barely came out on the December 31st, so a couple weeks in. So if you guys haven't read it yet, I'm not going to give any spoilers. You're going to have to go get it yourself. But it was really good. Really good. But, Henry, there was one thing. At the end of that book.
Wait. Do you have to say spoiler alert first?
No.
Okay.
Because it doesn't relate to the comic book as well. But you know how in comic books, they kind of advertise new comic books that are coming out?
Yes.
There is a Planet of the Apes versus the Fantastic Four that's going to be coming out.
So I guess we know what books you're going to be selecting.
It's so random, and the last thing I would see thinking in a collab, but just the title alone, just like how Predator Kills the Marvel Universe got me, so I'm definitely going to be getting that one.
I know. I can almost hear everybody like, wait, why is he not reading like the regular text? He's reading. That's all that matters.
Maybe next year I'll read an actual book, but I'm getting there, everybody.
Well, when you say next year, we are in a new year now.
Mm-hmm.
It could be one of your, what do you call them, resolutions?
I mean, it's one of the things I want to do this year, but one of those unrealistic things that will probably never happen.
Well, wait, Emily, you're the new kid in class. Are you I mean, I know you picked the graphic novel, but do you read books or just comic books and graphic novels?
So I do read books, though sometimes I claim that reading books now in these days is almost like a rich man's hobby because, the prices of books is through the roof. To buy just like one straight like book, it's probably like $25. If you want to buy like 4 books, it's like $100. So I would say that I like to read, but I'm very choosy on what books I like to purchase, which is why I like going to my local library, which I highly recommend for everybody to do, to go to their local library support. But yeah, I tend to focus though on graphic novels recently, and I'll dabble here in comics, but mostly since I'm in college, I'm mostly analyzing articles. And so sometimes I'm like, man, I didn't read anything this year. But then I also forget that I'm like, wait, I just analyzed all these articles, and that's reading. And so I'm like, wait, I was actually doing work and reading. And so people are like, so what'd you read recently? And I'm like, oh, I just read an article recently about how video games can be a tool for understanding history. And we can use that as an actually like scholarly like material.
Yeah. Which is a big change from...
If that's the case, Henry, I read a lot of scary stories from my audiences, so I'm probably read more books than anybody else.
You're reading emails. You're not reading books.
Reading is reading.
Yeah. No, but a couple things, actually. One, I think you know what it means by now. You've heard it enough, Emily. When you were talking about the library, I was going to say, oh, you know what that means. Everybody, I think, knows what Shanclen means when he says that. Because, I was going to say, like movie theaters, books are very expensive. I get that, especially if you want to get the new ones that just come out. And usually they come out in hardcover. Hardcovers are really expensive. I know you can wait for paperback. Even paperbacks get a little expensive now, too. So, yes, your local library, check. They also get copies of brand new books. You got to get there early, though, because as you can imagine, people go borrow them when they first come out. But if it's a good library, if you got a good library in your town, they usually order a lot of copies of, especially brand new books that they know are going to be popular. So yes, 2 things. One, visit your local library, and if you don't, get a library card because that's the only way you can borrow the books from the library. So yes, and there is one thing that kind of ties into this that this is how I wanted to end this this episode. It's a challenge. It's hinted at what it was to Emily. I think you know what it was because we talked about it the other day. But Shanclen, I kind of I told you I'm gonna issue a challenge. They can't see you, but you always make your face like, what is it? Do I need my sword? What do I need? Do I need my tools? What do I need? He's getting his lightsaber as we speak, or his real sword, actually. So, what it is what I'm going to reveal. For some reason, 2016 is being looked at nostalgically since the calendar flipped over to 2026. Everybody's putting up posts about, this is what I did in 2016. This is what it was. I don't know if you guys forgot. We lost a lot of icons in 2016. I wouldn't want to look back to 2016 and relive that. But I'm going to go back also, not to 2016. I'm going to go back to 1966. September 8th, 1966. 6th, if you're in Canada. That was a day that a TV show premiered on NBC, a science fiction show about a starship exploring strange new worlds and seeking out new life and civilizations. On September 8th of this year, Star Trek is going to turn 60 years old. That means, yes, Star Trek was here before Star Wars. Doesn't make it better, just means Star Trek is older. Now, as we kick off 2026, hold your questions till the end. And to celebrate Star Trek 60, Shanclen is holding up a finger like, wait. What is it? What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, confirming the date, September
8th.
September 8th. Okay, I'm writing that down. Everybody out there, put that in your calendars right now.
Yeah, they trust me, Star Trek fans, they remember. But I was going to say on September 8th of this year, that's when Star Trek premiered on NBC 60 years ago. But here's the challenge that I want to issue to you. And most of you that listen to the show, you probably can guess what it is. Especially when we do the issues of the day, we should have had Trent Tucker for this one because he's on the same boat as you, or I should say, same ship as you. Mark Pope, he knows Star Trek as he watches Star Trek. He has the same battle with Trent over on their show. I've always told you guys you should watch Star Trek because every time you talk about I love this and it had this and it was talking about this about humans and about people and about this, I always tell you guys that's in Star Trek. This is why I say you guys should watch Star Trek. I know a lot of people watch the original series. It looks cheesy, it looks campy, it looks boring. Let me ask you, as my old producer Damien used to always ask me, let me ask you this. Shanclen, you have said, you, Mark, Trent, everybody that comes on, you've all said you all loved Andor Season 1. You also have said many times you love The Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
You've also loved the Korean anime and the anime, the movies, and everything that you watched, like the one you sent me a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you like those movies, those stories?
They have good story.
But what does that mean exactly?
Well, the reason why I like them because they hit a string in my soul that resonates with me in some way, shape, or form, whether that be past trauma, currently going through stuff, or future goals and ambitions of going through hardship and persevering.
I know. Everybody, I can almost hear the Star Trek fans jumping up and down in the chairs. Tell them yes, I have told them that's what's in Star Trek. That's why I wanted to ask you that. And we didn't plan this. I knew you were going to say that. So, like I said, here's the challenge. Is this 2026? Is this the year that you finally start watching Star Trek?
Henry, while you were talking, I wrote down January 24th on my calendar. That is going to be my Star Trek starting day. This coming Saturday, I will binge and watch Star Trek.
Okay.
For the very first
Emily's
time.
laughing already. How are you going to binge 60 years? What is it now? 10 series, 3 sets of movies, books, comic books, and animated series all in one day.
I have my indigenous ways.
The spirits will guide them. No, well, speaking of, you guys are probably wondering, wait, how come you're not challenging Emily? Well, because a little behind the scenes, Emily's kind of been doing that already on her own before she became part of the Geek Speak Show. But I will say, since you are here, and again, you're the new kid in class, do you want to partake, even though you kind of already started, do you want to partake in the challenge that Shanclen is going to undertake?
Honestly, I kind of want to. I'll see if time permits me to watch anything Star Trek related. It's sort of a ceremonial thing with my boyfriend and his mom. We like watching it all together. And so it's kind of a planning thing. Like if we all agree if like tonight's the night, like we watch Star Trek.
You got Shanclen excited. When you said ceremonial things, like, oh, wait, what?
My ancestors came out right there. But I wanted to ask you, Henry.
Yeah.
Since the anniversary is on September 8th, and did you want us to do like periodic updates until that time? Or how are we going to do this? Because I would like to hold myself accountable to you and the audience that I'm actually watching this stuff.
Emily, get used to this because you're going to get a lot of this. He's reading my mind, as always. Well, wait. Did you say yes, you are going to start it, the challenge?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
So I can also hear the Star Trek fans saying, because most people, when you want to start, whether it's Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings doesn't have that many, it's the books, but Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel especially, the MCU, all DC, anything that has a long, long history and a lot of iterations at this point in time. The question is always, and it's an obvious, valid question, where do I begin? Do I start with where it all started? Do I start with the new stuff? Where do I start? I will tell you again. Emily and I had this conversation the other day, not on podcast, but just talking. I always tell people who want to get into Star Trek, start where it all started. What's celebrating 60 years? It's not the JJ movies. It's not the new movies. It's not the new series. It's the original series. Only 3 seasons. You don't have to watch it in order. Now the real question is, out of all of those original series episodes, which one should you start with? I have an idea. I'll tell you. But all of you listening to us, especially you Star Trek fans that have been jumping up and down and throwing and yelling out suggestions, we can't hear you. So go to our social media, or you can email it, geek.speak@gmx.com. Let us know which episode, original series. Don't go through Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space. Don't go through all of them. The baby steps. Let them get to that. Let's start with the original series. Which is the best one to start with? In order. Watch the original pilot. Watch The Cage. Watch Where No Man Has Gone Before. Where do we start? Or do we start the classics, the iconic ones that show you what Star Trek is all about, like Trouble with Tribbles, City on the Edge of Forever, all those kind of episodes. Where should Shanclen start? Keep in mind, those of you that know Shanclen over the last 3 years, you know his taste, you know what he likes, you know what he enjoys. Keep that in mind and give him that kind of episode. Because I will say, and I've said it before, some of the episodes could be considered boring because ships aren't fighting. There's no pew pew, none of that. But listen and watch for what the messages are, the social messages. These were from the 60s, and you should say, wow, I get it. But it should also make you sad because we don't get it. Because in 2026, 60 years later, it's still relevant, which means we haven't learned our lesson. We still got a lot of growing up to do. So that's why I say, everybody go to our social media. Let Shanclen know where should I start. Emily, I think you already started. What did you start with?
I started with Star Trek Enterprise.
Okay. See, that makes chronological sense. Kind of like if you tell somebody trying to get into Star Wars, start with the prequels. Well, what we know as the prequels, because that's actually the actual chronological order. Others would say, no, you got to start with the original 3 films, or it won't make sense. Well, if you watch it that way, really kind of won't make sense because it's out of order. But watching Enterprise, well, kind of. Yeah, I know. Okay, calm down, Star Trek fans. Technically, Strange New Worlds would come first before. Well, no, not really. Because, yeah, that is the one. I haven't had food, only on my first cup of coffee. Everybody relax. But see, this is what I mean. When you start trying to get into a show like Star Trek or Marvel or DC that has decades of stories, like, where do you start? Because some are prequels, some are branch-offs, some are one-shots, some are like the stories that Shanclen has been reading. Predator destroys the Marvel Universe. Well, that has to be a one-shot, because if he destroyed the entire Marvel Universe, there's no more comic books, so it can't be an ongoing thing. So there's a lot of like that. But again, I'll give them some ideas, but all of you get involved and go to our social media, go to our on email, geek.speak@gmx.com. Let us know where should he start, which episodes, and this is what we'll do. Like I said, September 8th falls on a Tuesday this year. That's the actual anniversary of Star Trek. September 9th is Wednesday. That's when we do the episodes. On that September 9th episode, we'll make the announcement. Did he do it? Can we now call Shanclen not only the nerdy Navajo, but a Trekkie, full-fledged Trekkie? Or is it, this show was boring, I didn't like it, I'll stick to my Korean movies?
I might need to get the phone number of your bro that goes to the cons that sells the cool jackets.
Tony Kim, yes.
Tony Kim.
Well, now that you brought him up, I'll let you in behind the scenes. I actually was gonna invite him, Tony Kim, to come on and let Tony give you this spiel, this sell, let him sell it to you. Not the jackets, not Hero Within stuff, but I mean sell why you should be a Star Trek fan. But then I thought, and all you longtime Geek Speak listeners remember, there's also a good friend that I have that has a little something to do with Star Trek. As you know, the creator of Star Wars is George Lucas. Creator of Star Trek is Gene Roddenberry. Gene Roddenberry is no longer with us. George Lucas is, obviously. His son, Gene Roddenberry's son, Eugene, but all of you remember him as Rod Roddenberry. He came on the second episode, and we've been good friends ever since. One of the best episodes is when we did the psychology of Star Trek versus Star Wars. Rachel, my co-host at the time, her and Dr. Dre Amendi, they were Team Wars. Rod and myself made up Team Trek, and that was a fun episode. All of you guys loved it. I was going to have him come on, the son of the creator of Star Trek. He was going to tell you, well, not force you, but tell you, because you'll get to meet him, because here's a little tease. You're going to hear Rod sometime, maybe a couple times this year as we celebrate Star Trek 60. There's a little hint. You might see him at some conventions also. But he will come on the show, and you'll like him because he'll tell you, he said it on Geek Speak when he first came on, he was never a Star Trek fan. Even though his dad created it, he grew up like you and I. He was a Star Wars fan. He had a Star Wars birthday party. He showed me pictures of his Millennium Falcon cake that his dad got him. The creator of Star Trek bought him a Millennium Falcon cake for his birthday. He wasn't a Star Trek fan at all. He gets it. I mean, he's running Strange New Worlds now, so he's part of Paramount Star Trek now. But he gets it. It's a long story, and most of you Star Trek fans, you know his story, the documentary we talked about back then. I think you'll enjoy that story, both of you, Emily and Shanclen. You guys will enjoy his story, and how and why he became a Star Trek fan. Not just because his dad created it, but through the fans. After his dad passed away, through the fans, he wanted to know, why do you guys love my dad so much? Why do you guys love this show so much? And why don't I get it? So you will hear him come on, probably on the anniversary episode for sure. I'll try to get him on. I already reached out to him, and he said, yeah, he's a little busy, like I said, producing the Strange New Worlds and some of the other shows that are coming up, but he will do everything in his power to be here on the Geek Speak Show for the anniversary show. So
who knows, Henry? Maybe you'll see me sporting one of his jackets and having some prosthetic ears on and a phaser gun. So we'll see. We'll see.
Those of you that I think Tony actually has seen you at when we go to WonderCons and Comic Cons and we go to the booth. You actually would make a better Klingon than Vulcan.
I will figure out what all that means in due time.
Yeah. So again, there you go. That's the challenge, Emily. I issue it to you also. Like I said, you kind of already started, but we'll all have fun with it. And again, it's all in celebration. It's some fun in celebration of Star Trek 60th anniversary. Now next year we're gonna do this again, not for Star Trek, but the other franchise I had star in the title. It turns 50 years old. So I know both of you, everybody knows Star Wars. Star Wars? What is Star Wars? Everybody knows Star Wars, so we'll do that one next year. But for this year, it's for Star Trek, so we'll do that. Now, everybody listen to us. Don't just come back in September to see if they did it or not. Like I said, I have Rob, but I have other Star Trek-centered guests and topics throughout the year in celebration of Star Trek 60 and some other things. So make sure you listen to all the episodes. In fact, come back next week, and we'll speak more geek. Bye, everybody.
While you wait for the next episode, you can follow the show on Instagram @GeekC, at the Geek Speak Show on TikTok and Facebook. Subscribe to the show on YouTube at Geek Speak Videos. That's where you'll find all event coverage and the new Geek Speak video show. Henry, Emily, and Shanclen will return in Avengers Doomsday. But until then, you can also hear them next week right here on the Geek Speak Show.